Hello, my name's Aaron Cleary, and I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad, I'm not your professor, I'm not your guidance counselor, I'm not the student counselor. I'm an asshole who's going to tell you how the real world works. There are many of you who get pissed off because you graduated with a worthless degree or you're majoring in a worthless degree. And people then ask you, well, why did you major in that? Or why are you majoring in that? And then you get all pissed off because you take it as a personal affront to you. And the reason is that, frankly, you're a victim. Right? And you may not like my attitude, you may not like me, but I'm the first person to give you the truth and the reality here. Okay? You've had your ass kissed the entire time since you were born by your spineless parents, by your worthless teachers in the K through 12 system, your worthless guidance counselors who know nothing about real market economics, and your professors who, frankly, last I checked, just scammed $100,000 out of you, blowing smoke up your dirt chute, telling you that, oh yeah, you can make a lot of money being an English major. Yeah, if you become a professor and reteach the same worthless shit to other suckers, which is what you were. Right? Now, I'm not saying you're bad. I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm saying you got scammed. Consciously and unconsciously by different types of people. Your parents being unconscious, they didn't know what they were doing. I love my child, they're the best thing ever, and they just kissed your ass and they didn't tell you how the real world works. And then the professor's like, look at this sucker who's majoring in the same shit I majored in 20 years ago. They're willing to pay how much credit for this? All right, I might actually be able to pay off my graduate degree studies loans. That's awesome. Here's my hope. I get to parasite off of future parasites. Right? So this is more of a psychological benefit that I'm trying to give you here. Right? You are not your degree. Right? You majored in this worthless liberal arts crap because, one, you were lied to, two, you were lied to about being able to make a degree, and then three, you found it interesting. In reality, you should have just gone to the library to study philosophy, to study women's studies, to study Chicano studies, to read through, I don't know, what, anthropology. Whatever it is, you could have gotten all that for free. But there were people out there that wanted to scam you for $100,000 in student loans and would have sold you this piece of paper that says, oh, you got a piece of paper, there you go. Well, okay, let me scribble with crayon. M.A. in sociology. There you go. You can claim you graduated here and you got a master's. You're really smart. What's happening, though, is the reality. The real world is hitting you upside the head. And you don't know how to interact with it. And you're getting pissed off and you're getting angry. Now, you may not like me. I told you I'm an asshole. But I'm your best friend right now. Because I'm telling you the truth. The real world doesn't demand sociology doctorates. The real world doesn't demand English majors because, Jesus fucking Christ, we speak English in this country. I know in California and Nevada, Colorado, maybe you guys don't, but for the rest of the country, we do. So, one, you've been taken advantage of. It's been a scam. Two, just because you majored in something doesn't mean you're not good in it. I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. Just because you're not getting a job in your field doesn't mean you're not good in your field or that you're not a good poet, or a good artist, or a good women's studies, a good misandrist, a good bigot. I know it's a joke. Larger point is this. For those of you who have a worthless degree and you can't find a job and you're really angry and you're really upset, don't take it personally. You've been scammed. You've been scammed by the education industry. You've been unconsciously scammed by naive parents who just didn't have the courage to say, don't major in fucking liberal arts, major in engineering. And it's up to you when someone comes up to you, because this is the barrier that we need to break down to help future people, future kids, not suffer what you did. Right? When someone comes up and says, why did you major in that? You got to stop taking personal umbrage, because they're not asking you. They're not assailing you and insulting you like you're not a good architect, you're not a good artist. They're saying, they're asking an economic question. What was your logic in deciding to major in that? That's what they're trying to get at. And it's a legitimate question. Now, I hope with the amount of money you've spent and the amount of emotional torture you've gone through, you have the capacity to realize and discern they're not insulting you. They're asking you a legitimate question. And then you could say, you know what? You could be an adult. You could say, you know what, I was lied to. It was a scam. It was a racket. Nobody told me. And I'm going to be sure as hell to make sure future generations don't major in pick your fucking worthless humanities degree, which is an oxymoron. Pick your worthless degree in the humanities. That would be a little bit better. Fashion, there's a school. The University of Minnesota actually has a school of fashion design in St. Paul. I used to work security many years ago when I patrolled. Never saw one damn good. It was all long African tribal shit because diversity ruled whether or not you had talent. Fuck talent. It's all about so everything was like this. You know, the African garb. I'm not saying it's bad. Like, you know, I could get like the little cone hat, not cone, but pill hat. And they got the nice robe. I'm not saying probably be very comfortable now. It'd be like a toga, but with color. You know, that'd be pretty schwank actually. But that's what it was. None of these people who went to the St. Paul or the University of Minnesota's School of Fashion had any talent. None whatsoever. None of them are working anywhere except for like low rank. I'm talking 20 years after the fact. But where was I going with that? You have a choice. It's your first real test in life. Do you admit, not by your own doing, but you have been led down the wrong path, and that now, economic reality, you're paying for this consequence that you were scammed? Or do you stand by it and hold on to this and keep up this false facade for your ego to try to self-rationalize that you made a mistake? Okay? I'm trying to give you the forgiveness. I'm trying to give you the out saying, look, you know, you were scammed. You were lied to the entire time. I'm not mocking or ridiculing you, except for the extent where you all claim to be, especially the liberal arts majors, go to Macalester College in St. Paul. They all think they're really intelligent, independent-minded, and they have attitude, they have cockiness, and then they end up unemployed, unless their parents are rich, which is about half of them. None of them really get by on talent or skill. It's all connections. Like Harvard of the Midwest, except dumber. Like I said, you have a choice. Do you acknowledge that you were scammed, or do you let your ego and pride get in the way, and then not only ruin the future lives of others trying to warn them, but ruin your life? Because I got news for you. I'm almost 40. I got approaching roughly 20 years on college graduates. Let's say 18. Can we just call it 20 years? I've seen what happens to liberal arts majors who didn't go to Harvard and don't have rich parents. And it isn't good. Who stand by it. Who still, because you've got so much ego and pride built into it, but you're ignoring reality. You're ignoring economics. You're ignoring the labor market. And fuck this bullshit like, well, you gotta change the system, man. You're dumb, you're naive, you haven't even studied economics. Look, okay, if there's a liberal arts, if there's a humanities subject to study, it's economics. That's the only one worth studying. And even if you do study it, you're likely to be misled and given some Marxist, leftist, indoctrinated bullshit. And then you still come out graduating, how come I can't find a job, man? Wake up and realize that you've been scammed. Okay? So either admit that you went down the wrong path, intentionally, I got it, and change your course and try and do something productive with your life. And at minimum, certainly don't take offense and umbrage and get pissed off when people question why you majored in that. Just say, I majored in a worthless degree. Or you hold on to it because that's all you got. Because that's all you've ever known. Because, frankly, it's really sad. That's all your environment, your parents, your teachers, and everybody thought the best you could do. You got to prove them wrong. You got to go out and be successful. And you have every right to be pissed off at your parents. You have every right to be pissed off at your teachers. You have every right to be pissed off at your professors. And the entire fucking system, that education government system, you have every right to be pissed off. But it's up to you. Do you want to try and defend your ego, which you'll lose because it's not based on reality? I mean, it's like, I'm trying to think of what it's like, Downfall, where the Germans were getting the shit kicked out of them by both the Russians on one side and the Americans on the other. It was hopeless. Why did they fight? I don't know. A lot of people died unnecessarily. Do you want to metaphorically die unnecessarily? Or do you want to admit you were wrong and then go on and live a better life because you're living in reality? I don't care. I find it very bemusing, very entertaining. In a very, and here's why I will become condescending, in a very entertaining manner. It's like watching it's like watch. I don't know. You can't even say dogs because dogs are pretty smart, but retarded dogs. Yeah, man, why ain't gonna go pro? Like, you know what? Here, I'll tell you a story. And you'll like it. St. Petersburg, Florida. This is like 2 weeks ago. 2 years after the fact, me and my buddy are walking down to a cigar lounge, and I see this guy who's like 50, wired out from drugs or booze or whatever, kind of a streetwalker person. He's got his OWS St. Petersburg. I mean, you can become that guy. You can. You can fucking go down that road and become that worthless, verminous scum. I shouldn't even say it was worthless or verminous. Sad and pitiful is more what it is. Because I don't think it was conscious. I don't think it was an evil politician. I think it was just a foot soldier. He was just another person to go sign people up for petitions and crap like that. You can become that person. You can get pissed off. You can become the feminist with the cats and their ladies and no man in your life. You can become the artist or the architect and no one appreciates my art, man. It's just conformist, but whatever. Excuse it all away. Or you can make something out of your life while you're still young, while you're still under 30. And yeah, you got a huge handicap having $100,000 in student loans. I understand that. But maybe that $100,000 is the price tag. You get to finally learn what it means to have truly independent thought and not be a conformist. Because there's nothing more sad and pathetic than a bunch of skinny-wearing, faux intellectual, liberal arts majoring, humanities majoring putzes drinking their coffee at $5 a bill, thinking they're really intelligent, and they're not. They're unemployed, they're fucking baristas, and if there's any effort, any acrobatics, anything that's impressive that I've seen liberal arts majors do of recently is go through Herculean acrobatics and trying to self-rationalize why they majored in a stupid fucking subject. Let go of the ego, okay? Let go of the ego. Live in the real world. Make yourself happy. Maybe, find a husband, find a wife, have some kids, nothing wrong with that. Find a skill. Learn about welding. Go work in the Bakken oil field. Because the past 25 years of your life hasn't been nothing but a fucking bubble, just like the education bubble, just like the housing bubble, just like the .com bubble, where everyone's been kissing your ass and telling you what you've wanted to hear, so you'd either spend the money at their school program, vote the way they wanted you to vote, or just be a nice person and they didn't want to offend you or get you pissed off. Me, I actually like you more than them, because I don't care if you get pissed off. I want you to be successful in life. I want you to not fucking be that douchebag I saw walking in St. Petersburg. Think about how sad that is. He's 50-some years old and he's got a shirt. That was his peak. He was in the OWS, one of the many of thousands. A common individual who, when this planet gets hit by a meteorite or the sun blows up and consumes it, will have achieved absolutely nothing. He'll be irrelevant. There will be no care. He'll make no contributing thing to this society. So what do you want to do? You want to be that guy, or do you want to be somebody different? Someone like, he built a house. She became a welder, and or she became a really, chimney cleaners make a lot of money, and there's no shame in it. They actually, I pay $120 an hour to chimney cleaners, and those guys or gals, they then go have like a really good time with their kids. I guarantee it. Well, $120 an hour. They're going to Yellowstone. They're having good times with their lives. Why don't you? So, admit that you got screwed over. Admit you made a mistake. Unconsciously, of course. I'm trying to give you the out there. But let go of the ego and the pride. And salvage what's left of your life. That's all it got. Toodles.